Happy Cinco de Mayo. Yes, hard to believe May has already rolled around. I know most of you have long forgotten about skiing this year, but I have a real treat for you today. Alpina Sports reached out to me last month and asked me if I wanted to test out the new Rottefella Xplore binding and the new Alaska XP boots. And I said, sure. We still have snow. I think I can get out and check them out this year and do sort of a preliminary review. Well, that's what I'm up to today. As you can see here on my feet, I've got the brand spanking new Alaska XP boot, the Rottefella Xplore binding, and a set of Alpina skis. Gonna take them for a little spin here up on the Continental Divide Trail in the Bridger, Teton, and Shoshone National Forest areas up near Sublette Peak. Beautiful day. We've got spring snow conditions. It's about 35 degrees. And we got a little bit of wet snow last night on top of a very consolidated 60-inch base. We're going to check out this boot and binding on some varied terrain, some flats, and also some gentle hills. See how well they do. So here's what I brought with me today. I've got my S-bound 98s with a Voile 3-pin cable binding. I've got a Fisher Traverse 78. It's got the triple N BC binding, the backcountry binding. And the new kit on the block, this is the Alpina Discovery 80 ski, and it has the brand new Rottefella Xplore binding. What I'd like to do today is put in a few miles skiing this new Xplore binding and the new Alaska XP boot on varied terrain and spring snow conditions. I want to see how well it skis on the flats. I want to see how well it feels on the climb, what kind of control you get on the downhills and the turns. Just for a comparison, I'm going to try skiing with two different systems on each foot. On my right foot I'll have the triple NBC, and on my left foot I'll have the new system, and we'll just see how well the kick and glide and turnability is with each of these systems. So first up, I'm going to go ahead and just ski with these. Let's take a look and see how they ski on the flats. Now with the new Xplore system, it is a step-in binding. There's some spring-loaded pins on the toe of the boot, and all you do is you just line it up and you just step in. It's as simple as that. And you're locked in. And there's a rubber bumper here, which gives it the feel an awful lot of like the triple NBC. Now, up next in this comparison, I've got a Fisher Traverse 78, but this is the triple NBC binding, and it is not a step-in binding. There's a manual clamp. Locks it in nice and securely. Now we're going to go do the flat ski test and see how this compares. Now I plan to do several videos and compare the different bindings back at the house, and we can look at them a little more in detail. There's definitely more forward range of motion with a new binding than there is with the NNNBC. Alpina's new boot, in combination with the Xplore binding and Discovery 80 skis, are working well for kick and glide under these ideal conditions. It just feels great. Those who love the Triple NBC for kick and glide performance will feel right at home with this new system. The Alpina Discovery 80s feel very similar to the Traverse 78s in the straight line kick and glide test. The Alpina XB boots feel great. They have ample forward flex, and the new sole brings a smile to my face. Let's just let the video roll and enjoy the effortless spring skiing with waxless skis and great surroundings. Last but not least in this roundup, I got the Alpha Greenland 75mm boot. A Volley 3-pin standard binding. Westbound 98s. Now, this isn't going to be a fair comparison for downhill ability or flat skiing because we have very, very different skis here. Skis are just about the same length. But the S-bound 98s have a much softer profile. As you would expect, the 98s with the 3 pins feel very different from the Alpina setup. I probably ski my 98s more than any other ski in my quiver, and it would be fun to mount an Xplore binding on one and do a downhill comparison test. I hope to do that next season when the bindings become more available. The Alpina Discovery 80 skis are waxless skis, and the traction pattern is working great under these spring conditions. I'll take a closer look at these skis in another video and compare their design to my Fisher Traverse 78s and my wife's Excursion 88s. I wouldn't classify these as a downhill focused ski, and I may struggle a bit on the downhill in this heavy spring snow. Anytime you don a new ski, it takes some time to figure them out. This heavy snow would be a challenge for any lightweight system. I've been told that a stiffer front flexor will be offered in the future. I think that would have helped tremendously today. The binding does offer ample lateral control for cross-country downhill, but I would have liked a bit more resistance to the forward flex to help me keep the ball of my foot on the ski. Well, if at first you don't succeed. Well, I've only had this new system for a couple days, and this is my first outing with them. It's still too early for me to give a conclusive review. But from what I've seen today, I do like the binding and boots. I think they have great potential. How much potential? We'll talk about later. I definitely need some more time on this system. I need to ski it in some different conditions. Anyway, stay tuned for my next video where I'll do a little in-depth look at the binding and boots. We'll talk about some of the shortcomings and some of the advantages. But for now, we'll close out this week's video. And until next time, be safe and be kind, and I hope to see you soon.